Your lips are so nice. I really just want to fuck you in the face.
Whoa! We just started an episode. We just
recording.
That's straight in there.
Hey guys, this is Matt. This was the first episode. We didn't really know what we were doing, so we just started having a little bit of a conversation, and it got to some wacky places. We learned some new words. We debated the existence of Native Americans. So be ready for that and enjoy the Air Capital Bro Show.
Welcome to Evan Fucks People in the Face
Annual.
Annual?
Didn't you? Yeah, is that about your splurgage? Splurgeo?
Splurgeo?
That should be a Mountain Dew flavor. Mountain Dew Splurgeo.
Are you trying to say splooge in a really weird way?
Oh yeah, because splurge is when you go shopping.
Yeah.
I was why is that a word related to shopping? Because when I was a kid, I would always hear splurge, and I honestly did think that it was supposed to be sexual.
Urge to splurge.
I couldn't. Yeah, urge to splurge. If you replace it, it always sounds like splooge, and splooge is my favorite term for cum, as you all know.
Isn't splooge the? Oh, it's sploosh. In holes. In holes. The thing they make at the end.
That
splooge.
Splooge. That.
My favorite term for ejaculate is goof. Still goof.
Give him the goof.
Where do you want me to goof?
Have you ever actually asked a girl that? Because you've alluded to it like you have.
Let me say, there was many missed comedic opportunities the other night.
When you tried to pretend you were a virgin.
Yeah.
I'm a virgin. Please. I can't believe you actually tried that as a legit defense.
I had to try anything I could.
Did you have like an innocent voice like that? Like, no, please, I'm a virgin. Or
No,
did you just
it was
go
kind of like this. I was like, stop. I'm still a virgin.
Did she just say like bullshit?
She was like, what? And I was like, I'm a virgin. I don't know what to do. she was like, no, you're not. You've already told me how many girls you've dated and slept with. And I was like, those ones didn't count. And then she was like, you just being an asshole. And I was like, yeah. Can we stop?
So you were trying to sell it like it was all just practice? Like the tutorial in a video game? Like this level doesn't count?
Well, listen.
That's level 0.
Listen, think about it. If you're not having sex right now, aren't you still a virgin?
No. Where's the logic?
Well, if you're not having sex right now, how do you know you had sex?
Bam.
Are you trying to argue existentialism?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I think, therefore I am.
I can't remember having sex, therefore I didn't.
So if I just get hammered every weekend and bang a different girl, it didn't happen because I don't remember it.
Well, it sounds like you remember.
Yeah, it sounds like you're remembering it, buddy.
You whore.
That explains the cocaine capsules that you found in the back of your car seat.
Wait.
Not a car seat.
Hold on.
The back seat of the car. You didn't hear that
cocaine
one?
capsules
I
in your
didn't get a
car?
chance to tell you that last night. Yeah. Yesterday, I was cleaning out my car, right? Get all the trash out because it tends to build up because I get busy.
No, because you're fucking lazy.
Yeah. You dirty bastard.
So I clean it out, and at the
I
very
get
bottom on
busy.
the floorboard, I find about 20 capsules with this white powder residue. Like they were all broken open.
Like 20?
Like a huge, like an asshole.
That's a lot.
So I'm finally just like, well, shit, like this looks like cocaine. So I took all of them except for one and threw them in the dumpster, like behind my apartment. So I walk in.
One for you.
And I went over to my roommate. I was like, I need a second opinion. Like, do you think that there used to be cocaine in this? And he looks at me.
Wait, so
question.
they're empty? All of them are empty?
They were all empty.
What a weird question to go, do you think there used to be cocaine in this? Do you ever bring a hooker home and say that?
I think you should let me finish the story.
Sorry, go ahead.
But anyway.
Joking?
So my roommate agrees, like, yeah, this definitely looks like someone put cocaine in this. So I throw it away.
This sounds like a fake story.
And we're standing there, we discussed the scenario as to how that got in there. because I don't let people do coke in my car. So.
Well, clearly.
So I'm thinking, well, little secret. One of the doors of my car isn't locked at all.
Nice to know.
Yeah. And it was right on the floorboard, right? Like they were just getting in there and doing the coke and just dropping the capsules.
I
in
just
there.
don't understand why. You could do cocaine anywhere. Why Evan's car with a bunch of Remember that time I sat on pizza?
Are you sure it wasn't the person that you know who has purchased cocaine in your car before?
Well, none of the people that have cocaine or do cocaine that I know have done cocaine in my car.
That you know of.
Those people live pretty far away from me. They don't have no reason to come all the way across town and get in the backseat of my car.
But have they ever been in the backseat of your car? Because you weren't in there for quite a while. So how do you know that somebody in your car wasn't? Because people, if you want to get away with, if you really need cocaine, and you need to get away with doing cocaine in front of people, I'm sure there's a way you've mastered the ability to do that.
How long ago was this before you cleaned it?
A couple weeks.
Evan.
It was a couple weeks.
Are you being honest?
Yes.
Couple is in 3 weeks or couple is in 2 weeks?
Like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. So 3 weeks time. When was this when did the drug deal take place in the back of your car that night?
That would have been 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, okay. So you're good. It's probably just a homeless guy. I wouldn't worry about it.
But, I mean, there's so much there. It wasn't like a one-time deal. Like, someone's been doing it on a regular basis.
And it just started once you moved in.
I don't routinely check my car.
What are you giggling about over there?
He's got to finish his story.
And sometime from the last time I cleaned out my car to yesterday, there was a bunch of cocaine down in the backseat of my car and the capsules were left. That's
2 days?
That's the information we have.
That's the information I have.
Dude, set up a camera. Honestly, this could be really fun to watch. Like, set like a camera up.
What if some guy just gets into your car frequently and does cocaine?
That's what I'm wondering. Because I'm just like, well, shit. I'm glad nobody searched. The cops haven't searched my car because I would have never known it was there.
It's like trying to get away from his wife. Just goes out to the parking lot.
Yeah, Evan's car. Well, I was saying like Evan could make some money off this because like if it's the hot spot in town. You get a bouncer involved. You get people like doing coke in the back of your car. You turn it. Yeah.
Anyone pathetic enough to get in the backseat of my car and do coke can't afford to pay to do it.
All three of us have been pathetic enough to do one of those things.
What?
Get in the backseat of my car?
Yeah. Which, to be honest, getting in the backseat of your car or doing cocaine, getting in the backseat of your car is more dangerous.
Yeah, sometimes I have metal objects on the seat.
Yeah, and Matt got weird liquid residue all over his ass the last time he sat back there.
And you guys all acted like I was being such a freak about it. Caleb was the only one to come inside, bend me over, and wipe my ass clean for me.
What?
And
every time I'm in town, everybody wants me to play taxi.
Did you ever have to have somebody wipe your ass when you were like in kindergarten who wasn't your parent and you like never felt worse in your life?
I think you were molested, dude.
No.
How old is kindergarten? What age are you? 6 or something like that?
I couldn't have been older than 5, but I was probably 4.
Were you able to do this yourself, and for some reason they like really wanted to?
No, it wasn't like you're making it sound like
I'm not trying to, but I'm just wondering.
Molestation. No, I was in a school. I was in a church school. And we were in what was considered like like K5, which was like pre-K, like it was pre-kindergarten. But I'd go to the bathroom and it was just like, apparently as a small child I had a bad habit of not wiping good enough. Come on, like as an adult man, sometimes you wipe 20, 30 times, still poop.
Yeah.
And you get exhausted. When you're a kid, you have no patience. Like 5 minutes feels like an eternity, and you think, it's never gonna stop. Like
where does this stop?
Like poop is just coming out of my
this
butt.
Is my life now.
Yeah. And so you just give up after like 3 or 4 solid swipes, and then you, like everybody's like, he doesn't wipe his butt good enough, and then they enroll you in preschool, and they're like, you're gonna have to double check. He doesn't wipe his ass well enough. and then you're like sitting in a stall in your most private moments, just wanting to handle this business.
Like, wait a minute.
This business yourself.
Who was the person that said, like, your parents told them, hey, check his ass on
Probably
a
my mom.
10 to 15 minute basis? Cause
There needs to be a thorough checking of his asshole every time he poops.
But anyway, so yeah, the
kinda
teacher
rubber
would
glove
just
and-
come in and be like, I'm so sick of this shit. And I'd have to like bend over and let her wipe my ass. And it was like, yeah, she was like mad. So I don't think I was molested because she didn't want to do it.
that's
You're
true.
literally sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Did you just
Getting
take
my
the
shit
shit?
all
to
over.
your
Why did that come to mind? You just had like a instant flashback?
I don't know, but anyways, on another note, this fake Instagram account friended me and started messaging me.
Cindy nudes?
No, I think she's trying to get me to go on a cam show. To
Yeah.
watch her on a cam show.
She's
So
a
I'm
bot,
like,
or-
yeah, I don't think she's a bot because she's had unique reactions. At first, I thought she was, so I just
What do we
just
got
played
so
along.
far?
Okay, so she said, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "I'm good. How are you?" She said, "I'm pretty good, thanks. By the way, where do you live?" And I was like, not responding to that. That's never a good sign.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, she just said, "Cool, same here. How old are you?"
You never responded though?
Never responded. So I was like, must be a bot.
Yeah.
So she said, "Cool, same here. How old are you?" I said, 14. Almost 15 with like an exclamation point.
Oh no.
She said, "What are you up to?" I said, "Just watching Naruto. By the way, if you vape, I'll give you my credit card number." And then she just said, "Nah." And I was like,
You were like, oh shit, I thought this was a bit with a bot.
"Yeah." And then I said, "You don't? What?" And she said, "Well, I'm actually preparing for my live show. Yada yada yada. I need to spice things up a bit." And I said, "Wait, what? Isn't that a sin?" She said, "No, it's not." Want to watch and hook up with me? I said, "I'd love to, but I don't want God to steal my soul." She said, "Can you watch me on my campsite now and meet me after?" And I was like, "All right, I'm done. I've had my fun." So, but then yesterday, so this is back in April that I had this conversation. Yesterday, she just messages me again. "Hey," I said, "Sup?" She said, "What now?" And I said, "Huh?" She said, "Want to watch me now?" And I just said, "Look, Cole, I like you a lot, but I just think this is wrong to do. I think God would want us to wait." And she just liked that comment. So now what I'm wondering is either this is somebody using a fake account, but they like I've just broken them to some degree.
Yeah.
Or it's a girl who's made an account to troll people and pretend she's a cam girl.
Well,
And I was trolling, and we didn't realize it, but we were both trolling. Is the other
Well,
possibility?
My question is like, can you watch my cam? And then you go in the cam, it's like some dude. Like,
I don't know. I don't think she ever sent a link, which usually it's like they send a link like 3 or 4 times.
Oh god, I had a similar experience, but I invited her to church.
Okay, you gotta tell me about this.
I don't remember. I don't have the conversation in
Transcript.
front of me. This was like a year ago. But I was volunteering at a church out in Derby, and I was on Tinder. Well, I matched with this chick, and then she sends me her kick, and I'm like, well, that's never a good sign.
Is it pronounced kick?
Yeah.
I always pronounced it kike.
But anyway,
okay.
so
Whoa.
I go on kick,
You
and
can edit that out,
she
right?
goes to the whole spiel about, yeah, I need someone to
Is
hook
kike an
up with
offensive
me.
term?
You can edit that out, right?
No, seriously, is kike an offensive term?
Hey, can you get that? Oh yeah.
What?
Are you that serious? You don't
no,
know?
yeah. Is kike an offensive term?
It's a
Are
term
you
for
actually
Jews.
asking?
I was legitimately asking.
It's like the N word for Jews, sort of, huh?
Yeah, it's a slur for Jews.
See, this,
That means-
that's-
Are
I
you
thought that's
seriously
what your
coming to this
joke was.
realization? That was the
It was
goof.
just K-I-K, so I was like, oh, what does this say? Kike, I guess? And
That's
it's one
a
of those words you
cereal.
never say out loud.
You're thinking of kicks.
So you invited this slut to church.
Yeah, like it was a similar like, hey, come hook up with me on my webcam show, and I was like,
You told her.
nah, shit's not gonna happen.
And she
So-
wanted you more.
So I was like, you really don't have to do this to yourself. There's probably a lot of good you could do for the world. And she's like, yeah, but I want to do cam shows. So I'm like,
You're like,
she's
shit,
like-
she's making a convincing argument.
so I'm sitting there, I'm
Free
like,
choice here.
yeah. so we go back and forth for a while, and I was just like, finally, there's going to be a great church service. I gave her the name of the church and like the address out in Derby, and I'm like, I will be there from.
Did she show?
No, this.
Well, you wouldn't have known. She could have been there.
Was there a strange man with a beard who was like crying and like went to the altar call and you could see like a little bit of thong?
A neck beard guy who shows up.
I just told her.
And you just kind of like look and you mouth the name Ashley, and he looks back and winks at you and that's the day Ashley got saved.
Do 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 do.
No, she never shows up. And then this is the Monday after. I was like, she messages me again.
Why does it say nacho?
She's like, so how have you been doing? I'm like, I never saw you come to church. Like, do you really want to be my friend?
Is that Mexican?
And just I trolled her for a while. Like I invited her to church and she continued to talk to me. Like she should have got.
What the fuck?
Like, hey, this shit's not gonna happen. I'm gonna troll you until you.
Oh.
Dude, speaking of churches, you know how we were talking about the sneakiest jerk, which Evan won because he jerked off at church camp or whatever.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, we don't need to, but the thing is, since then, I realized, I'm like, well, wait, that's 3 of us that have jerked off in a church.
What?
And I talked to my coworker and was like, hey, dude, you ever jerk off in a church? And he was like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, and I was like, what? I want, at this point...
It's called nachos.
Caleb's holding a jar up that says nachos, but there's jalapenos in it.
It's everything else is in Spanish, so I think they just translated it wrong.
Maybe it's 4 nachos is the idea. But my point is, so far by my own scientific census, 100% of men have jerked off in a church at one point.
Yeah, it's called jerking off.
Because
It's a
4 out of
small
4
sample.
men.
Yeah, it's a small sample, but
Well, you can't use that small of a sample. You need at least 100 men.
It's called jerking off.
dude.
That's not right.
Okay.
And that's where you draw the line here. Is not jerking off in the church, but making up a term for it.
Yeah, making a stupid pun. God wouldn't want that.
I think to prevent this, we need to put a painting of Jesus on the door.
Like
of
my
every
brother
stall.
did?
Yeah, so when you close a stall door, you just look up and you're just sitting there.
My older brother put a painting of, he's not even religious, he put a painting of Jesus across on the toilet. And I asked him one time at 16, I'm like, why do you have Jesus in here? I didn't know you were a believer. He's like, I don't want people whacking it in my bathroom.
Yeah, like,
really aggressively.
Just think about it. You sit on the toilet.
And
when you're
it
in
helped
bed,
me finish faster.
And he's like,
full
are
of
you going to
righteous-
do that with Jesus looking right at you? You can see his sad eyes staring at you. You're sinful.
That's hardcore though. Lock eyes and finish.
I don't think I could do it. Not with his half asymmetrical face.
What?
Wait, that's an oxymoron, isn't it?
No, listen. This is really stupid, and we shouldn't talk about this on it. Look, in old timey paintings, in like church paintings, any portrayal of Jesus Christ, usually what they would do is half of the face is symmetrical and half of the face is like slightly lopsided, and you don't notice until you know that. And then you go look at a picture of Jesus in like Catholic churches and stuff, and you finally understand why he looks so weird.
It's an intentional thing.
It's an intentional thing. The side that's symmetrical is supposed to represent the God side of him in perfection, and the side that's kind of like lopsided a little bit, but just ever so slightly, supposed to represent corrupted man.
Who would have thought the same guy making the kike jokes is the one that comes out?
It wasn't a kike joke. I legitimately didn't know.
I can't.
Is kike okay to say? Why is it okay to say?
Why are you
everything?
saying it if you don't know?
I've never
doesn't
heard.
know.
You got. I don't. What is that?
If that
a
was the
cereal?
case, then I can't do
It's
it.
more something. It's more something you'd hear like your grandpa say, because I've never heard a millennial.
I've never heard
say the word
anyone
kike.
actually say it other than referencing it as a joke.
It's like, oh, you know, kike. Like that's the only time I've ever heard it used.
I did know an elderly man who would use the N-word very politely.
Can you elaborate?
Like he just okay. So when I was 15, and I was building that log cabin with like one other man and an old man. Like it was 2.5 men building a log cabin.
You know how long did that take? Because you have like endless stories from that one summer.
Because it was one summer. It was 5 or 6 days a week, and it was
all summer.
and it was like 10-hour days, and every day we had to, because it was the hottest summer like in like 50 years.
Like
It was like 110 like a lot of days.
Oh my God.
So hot. But it was also storming like every other night, And the way we had done this was they had an A-frame house we demolished. So we had to take their house apart systematically, remove everything, like just haul everything out of there, down to the foundation, and then they had their basement, which meant that there was no covering. So every night if it was going to rain, we'd have to put tarps over the whole foundation of the house to try and keep it from leaking into their basement where they were living. But it still would. And then we had to build up a log cabin on that foundation. It was really intense work, and there was only 3 of us working. Like a 15-year-old boy, a man in his like 50s probably, who's pretty fit, and then his dad who was in his like 70s.
Which one were you?
The 70-year-old. I was the 15-year-old, and that guy was a very kind old man, but he broke my finger at one point, and he still doesn't know that he did that because I didn't know he broke my finger for several weeks. I just knew it hurt.
So you didn't get a chance to like ridicule him about it.
No, but I was pretty upset about it. It was also the summer of 1001 caulk jokes because we had to use a lot of caulking when building a log cabin. So it'd get all over your hands. You could never get it off. It was sticky. You need more and more rags each time. And sometimes you think there was going to be a lot and there was only a little bit left. Anyways, there was 1001 different caulk jokes. We had to entertain ourselves in that
That's
heat.
one of them. So wait, what were we talking about? Oh, he said
The old
N-word
man.
a lot.
Yeah, no, he not a lot, but like he like sometimes during our like lunch breaks, we'd sit there, we'd take a ice cold water bottle, like ice cold, pour a little bit of water out, pour some Coke in it, best Coca-Cola of your life. We'd drink that, and then we'd be talking on a porch like 3 old men, like, I remember this one time.
Hold up. The best Coke of your life is like 20% Coke and 80% water?
It's 100% Coke.
Plus 20% water.
No.
Well,
I explained that poorly. You freeze a water bottle. You freeze a water bottle, like freeze it solid. You pour what little water is in there out. You pour some Coke into the ice, and it's the coldest Coke of your life on the hottest day of your life. And you drink that. It's like, ooh, sweet Lord. And then you pour more in, and each time there's a little bit less ice, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Try it.
That makes more
Try
sense.
it.
I think you're saying.
Anyways, so this old man's sitting there and he's just like, I remember when I was a little boy, I was doing the sauna, and you know, you'd tune in and listen because you were interested because you knew he lived in a different time, and also you wanted to be polite. But he usually had a lot to say. But he's just sitting there one time, and again, I'm not saying the N-word. I'm telling you what he said. This is a quote.
That's our opening.
Now this gentleman was very, very old. Like I think he's talking about when he was a kid. So this is before
9/11.
World War I, I think.
Okay.
Like it was either before
really-
World War I
pretty-
or
yeah.
World War II. But he's talking about when he was a boy, and the kids next door would run through every morning would run through his front yard. And jump into his tire swing just to piss him off and get him to chase them, and he's sitting there, and like his son, who's my boss, is just shaking his head like he can't believe he let that slip, and that's what we thought. He had just accidentally said the N-word once, and then he goes, well, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm a little boy, and I'm thinking I'll fix that, and his son yelled at him, was like, Dad, you can't say that anymore. The times have changed, and he's like, I don't mean no harm by it. I'm just telling you, like, that's just how we knew each other. Like, that's just how and like he's sitting there like looking at me going, Caleb, you have to understand how old he is. It's from a different time. He doesn't mean it in a racial sense. And he goes, oh, there ain't nothing
What
racial
other
about
sense?
that word. The gentleman didn't think he was saying anything offensive. That's why I don't hold it against him.
Yeah.
But so he just keeps going on, and he's like, yeah, so I untied the tire swing and just limply threw the rope over there. Next day, I came running down the front yard, jumped into it, and just busted ass. That kid never did that again. And I was just sitting there like stunned, and like his son, like his face was just in his hands, like he was just like, oh. And then he like wouldn't let his dad tell stories anymore.
That was probably a wild one.
I hear stories from my grandparents about how after dark they'd run anyone that would be, I guess, darker than about Caleb out of town. And they tell me this story all the time.
What, like olive?
I'm not very dark.
Yeah, like maybe sometimes when the sun hits you, right?
He's got like a tan, but yeah.
When the sun hit me with a good Lord split me.
He's Lebanese.
And my grandma, she tells me
It's
that
pronounced lesbian?
she was terrified of the Native Americans that would like come through the town. I'm like,
Would you watch too many John Wayne movies?
Caitlin Mez
I don't
was,
know.
too.
That's like, it's just real common, I guess, in small towns in Oklahoma with old people. Like they were all terrified.
Is this the same grandparents who didn't want you to go to Japan because they thought they would kill you?
Yeah.
And you had to explain to her that they didn't kill Christians? It's been 40 years?
No, it's been like 200-300 years since they've killed Christians in Japan.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said 40,
That
like
was
as if
like
they were doing it in the 70s.
That was like in the 1800s, dude.
You know what? You know what's weird to me though is like in my head I always reference everything from 2000, even though it's been 20 years.
It's been 20
so
years.
when I think 30 years, like when I think like
30 years ago, you think 1970.
yeah, not 1980 or
1990.
90. See,
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit gay.
Eric, I'm glad you joined us on this conversation.
Why is that?
Why were your grandparents scared of fictional creatures?
God damn it.
She just heard the legends as a kid.
We're talking about Native Americans, not leprechauns.
No, I'm not an idiot. I know what we're talking about.
I said, what are we talking about?
Native Americans. The legends of Native Americans.
So let me get this straight. You think that whenever the first people came to this continent, the first white people, it was just a big, empty, sprawling space and there was nobody inhabiting it?
By first white people, are you talking about like the Norwegians, the Vikings?
Whoever it
The
was.
Swedes? Yeah.
There's a lot of debate about who actually discovered America.
Yeah, they were there, and then they got really bored, and they were like, well, we're not part of the motherland anymore. I guess we can make up our own mythology. And they came up with a pretty good one, but, like, you can see how it's very, like, similar to, like, elves and, like, fairies and that kind of stuff. And so they came up with one, and then whenever Kris Kringle showed up, they met these people, and they asked him, like, oh, like, how long have you been here? And they're like, 60, 70 years, that's about it. And they're like, oh, wait, so you're, like, not native? And they were like, no, but let me tell you about the natives. And they told them the fairy tales they made up. And they've got passed down to us.
What were the tales? Like, who were these people?
Well,
I'm not really into American folklore, so I don't really know much about.
Well, there was Running Bull, who was a chieftain who led his entire tribe into battle. But they say that when he ran ahead of the army into battle, he would run so fast that it looked like he was a bull.
He could like shapeshift.
Yeah, a lot of Native Americans were shapeshifters.
What do they typically look like? These creatures.
So they're like very like tall, regal, elegant people. Like imagine wood elves. But if wood elves' garb was made up of like kind of the colors and the styles of like the American open plains. That's kind of how they dressed. So they'd wear like a lot of like tans and browns, but sometimes there'd be color like they'd weave color into their clothes.
So what about the language? Did they just make up the entire language just to add to the mythology?
Just like J.R.R. Tolkien. If you're gonna write a good story, you have to make up the languages that everybody's speaking.
So, who are we giving all these scholarships to for college?
Well, see, that's the thing. People now don't understand that these are fairy tales. You know, it's like
what is the ancestor of the people we're giving the scholarships to?
the Vikings.
So a bunch of tan Vikings are getting these scholarships to go to college.
No, it doesn't
That's
have
per
to do with your
agreement.
skin color. It's not a racial thing.
Dude, seriously?
So just
Did you
anybody.
just make it racial? We're talking about. You know why you're looking bad right now? Because we're
Do you
talking
think Native
about
Americans
human
are
beings.
real? Is that why you think this is?
Yeah.
Because
I think
Native
you're-
Americans were supposed
One
to
of
be the
these
color
guys.
of the open plains?
You're the one that's being a racist.
What are you talking about?
What does it have to do with race? There's white human beings, and then there's creatures that are darker colored.
That's racist. That's straight up racist.
I think a line was just crossed.
Yeah.
God damn it.
But anyways, the people, it's these people think like technically I'm like 1/16 Blackfoot Indian. Okay. but I know the Blackfoots never actually existed.
It's like a Facebook quiz. Which Harry Potter character are you? But you can get into college with the result.
It's like a lot of people. It's like a lot of people think that maybe like oh, there's a little bit of dwarvishness in our blood. No, you just have a hereditary gene that makes you shorter. Like, it's all about interpretation.
Is that a thing?
You know, some people are like, oh, you know, the Dario family, they're all so tall because there's giant's blood in them. You know, that kind of stuff. You don't believe that, do you?
They call Minnesota.
So you don't think that I actually am in some way a descendant of a Native American?
So, the entire U.S. population has been fooled into believing that these natives lived here. And we're getting scholarships.
Okay, and you act like that's ridiculous. Black Panther just came out last year, and there's a lot of people who think that they're descendants from Wakanda.
Wakanda Sykes, the comedian?
Well, Wakanda doesn't exist.
Neither do the Native Americans.
Well, like, you know, I kind of see what he's saying, because it's like
Wakanda in a museum.
People are claiming to be of Wakandan descent.
So,
right now. That's from one movie.
Thing?
That's a real thing. That's from one movie.
Are they Tardo or?
Yeah, just like the people who think Native Americans are real. But see, I can understand the people who think Native Americans are real, and I can say this because my brother thinks he's Native American, and he's full tardy. So people who think that Native Americans are real, it makes sense because there's this whole mythology. There's all these stories of all these different people.
Explain the archaeological evidence that would show that Native Americans existed.
What archaeological evidence?
They've got pipes,
The people who dress up like Native Americans and pretend that they're them?
I'd hate to get too technical.
People do that at the Renaissance festivals.
I'd hate to get too technical, but in the world of debates, the burden of proof is on you to prove they exist, not for him to prove they don't.
That is
because you can't say, "Hey, Matt, prove to me that leprechauns don't exist." It's like,
I'll go get my uncle right now. I'll drive all the way out to Wichita and pick my uncle up, and we'll
Who's
get him
your
on
uncle?
camera.
your uncle's a leprechaun?
How does
He's Native American.
What archaeological evidence is your uncle? Did you dig him out of the ground?
No, he's got family heirlooms that would prove he's a descendant of the Native Americans.
Yeah, I have a sword from a Renaissance festival. It doesn't mean that I used to fight with fucking Robin Hood.
So you were like,
Dude, is there a new Robin Hood movie coming out where Jamie Foxx plays Robin Hood or something?
Maybe, but there's one where the guy from Kingsman plays Robin Hood, and it looks
that
like
must be
ass.
it. I haven't seen a trailer. I just saw Jamie Foxx.
The trailer melted my mind because it's like they can't decide what time period it's taking place in, what story they're telling, what tone they're going for, or what font they're going to use for the like title cards. It was the most like we didn't decide what we were doing before we started filming trailer I've ever seen.
Wow, I'll have to check it out. Well, I think we learned a lot today. 100% of men jerk off in churches.
Native Americans are.
wait,
I still have something
Caleb did it too?
Yeah,
We all agreed
Was
to.
it the family church or like some other church that you happen to go to?
every church. I've ever
Every
been
church
in.
you've been to.
So
For
you're
a
No,
while.
actually, it was just.
I think it was
family.
just. So that's different for me because that's school.
We have to be
And
careful
I-
about name dropping stuff.
So you're not a,
Well,
you're not
we'll
a serial
blurb that.
churcher?
We'll
You're a serial
blurb it.
churcher?
Serial churker.
Yeah.
No, it was just whenever.
Churker.
It was just whenever I
Oh, it's 'cause
absolutely
church,
needed to.
Church jerky, yeah. Turkey.
Quit moving your leg around nervously.
No one can see that.
Do you
and
need
it's-
a church?
I know,
gross.
I'm just trying to freak him out.
All right. What if we summed the episode up with everything we learned? So it'd be like 100% of people jerk it in church. Kike is an offensive word. And
I'm glad I
Native
learned that.
And Native Americans aren't real. I hope you
still
guys
have one
learned a
thing
lot.
to ask about the Native Americans.
Oh boy.
So
Ask our expert.
I-